dishes. So feel free to chat. Oh, let's close the window. Yeah, I'm just doing some dishes, and I figure we're out here doing dishes. Might as well chat with anyone who wants to chat. Happy Father's Day to any fathers out there. And yeah, we're gonna keep this one pretty chill today. Today we went for a ride out on the pontoon boat. Went down to the beach. Made some good progress cutting trail down to the. Sorry, got a bit of a cough. Made some good progress on our way down to the beach there. So we got a beach on the south end of the property, and I've been slowly cutting trail to it. For now, we got a boat over to it. So that's what we did today. We boated to the south side of the property. Lovely day, nice and sunny. Hope everyone who joins is having a good day. Let's get rid of that notification there. We're just having a chill live stream while we do some dishes. Just hanging out, doing the dishes. Figure if anyone wants to chat, feel free to chat. Gonna keep this one a little more chill. We're not going out with the animals right now. It's the end of the day, long weekend. What I've been working on is grading the yard. I'll flip the camera around so you guys can see, but I had to fix up where I had all the water lines. So I'm cutting in a trail here to go towards the fields to go see the goats. There's my wife out there, and had to level up the yard everywhere else. So that was a busy bit of work there yesterday. Today was a little more chill for Father's Day. We just hung out on the beach and relaxed a little bit. Cut a little bit of trail, did a little bit of flagging. Nice day either way. And I hope you guys had a nice day too. Happy Father's Day to any fathers out there. And so now we're just doing dishes, just hanging out. So feel free to chat with me, guys. I see a few of you guys there. Don't be shy. You guys can chat. One of the things I'm trying to figure out, user says, what's the time over there? It is 9:22 p.m. I'm in northern Canada, so it's still bright outside, but it is late. The mosquitoes are starting to come out. I know my wife's out there. She's just milking a goat right now. Um, but we got an army load of dishes for the summer here. My church does an evening service instead of morning, and I gotta find a drying cloth. And because of that, we end up not getting home till late. Michael says, "What time do you typically go to bed?" I'm usually in bed by 10:30, 11, somewhere there, and then I wake up around 6 in the morning, sometimes earlier. Um, we have a homestead here, so if I flip you guys around, you'll be able to see my goats. Worst. That is the worst. Thank you. The problem is the mute button is right around the flip camera around button. What I was saying is I live off grid, homestead, 156-acre peninsula. I'm just doing dishes. So if you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask because I got nothing but time to answer your questions. We did unfortunately have a failed batch of duck eggs. I was hatching duck eggs and it looks like they stopped about halfway through. Um, they stopped growing. And all we can think is that the incubator we have over there had a faulty temperature switch. Because what would happen is the uh, the incubator would be on heat mode and it would show the 37.5 degrees, which is perfect. Northern Canada and Ishak, thank you. Canadian, yes, far north Canada. So my incubator, it was showing that it was 37.5 degrees, 37.5 degrees, 37.5 degrees, but I could see the heat was still on. And so that got me a little nervous. So I unplugged it, replugged it, then it showed 43 degrees. So something on it wasn't working properly, wasn't showing that the temperature was going up. And so I think we cooked all of our ducklings. So we're going to try again. We're getting a replacement part from the manufacturer. and then we're going to try with another batch of duck eggs. I'm in the far north in Canada. What do you do for a living to be able to do all this? I actually run a logistics company. So um, I've got about six, seven transport trucks and a whole whack of employees, bunch of different spots. But yeah, run a logistics company. Um, Tiffany says, "Hi. That's one thing. Living off grid and having a homestead, it starts to pay itself forward over time, but the initial setup cost, acquiring the animals, acquiring the infrastructure, even I build everything myself. I do all my own installs. Pardon my cough. There we go. Chase that one up. It all costs money and time. So that's just something to keep in mind. Lou, that sounds like it's probably going to be inappropriate if I say it out loud. So I'm going to say no. Movie verse says, I'm not sure what that means. Super cool guy says, hey, super cool. How you doing? Name a car for an edit. A car? How about a Supra? Oven says, what's the biggest problem with living off grid? The biggest problem with living off grid is just that things break. And so I'm using an old generator as my backup. I got some solar, but the solar can't always keep up, especially with the animals. Um, and so what ends up happening is right now I'm dealing with some relays that are broken. I've got some failing relays. So the auto start doesn't always start. And sometimes you don't realize until about 2 in the morning when your power goes out that you got no power. And there is no, it's fine, I'll wait till the morning. I got heaters on my ducks that my ducklings that are in the shed. Um, the animals have access to 24/7 water, but you need power for the water pump to kick on. So when the power goes out, you got to get your butt out of bed and you got to go get things troubleshot, get things going. If the batteries get too low, the whole system won't come on. So that'll be a headache. I have a booster pack just in case that happens. Habas says hi. Brett says truck. I'm riding a Ford F-150 right now. Um, and Johnny says you can buy something that beeps when it loses power. Um, the whole system. I know my backup propane will beep. That's usually how I know my power's out. When the power goes out, that thing will beep at me. Um, and Derico, hey Derico, how you doing? I was thinking about not streaming tonight because it's so late, but I've got an army load of dishes here, and I figured why not chat with you guys while I do it. Ferrari says, throw him out. Who am I throwing out right now? And your beard has finally grown. Wow, eh? My beard's not necessarily the nicest beard, but it is a beard. Nouveau says pudding. What about pudding? We're just doing dishes right now. Uh, I need to find more dish detergent. I think I'm out there, but I think I bought a fresh one right here. Tommy, how you doing, Tommy? Ferrari says the truck driver. Michelle says, does wifey know how to do all that Jenny troubleshooting? Nah, usually usually she just has to suffer until I can come home and take care of it. Some of it she's not bad, and some of it I can talk her through it. I basically rebuilt our whole generator, and so I know the system pretty well inside and out. I really just need to get on replacing all of the relays. There's about 6 relays on my generator system that control different things. I don't have a wiring diagram, so I'm not exactly sure what's controlling what, but I know one of them is failing because the auto start. I have manual power on it, but the automatic part, it's like the relay isn't fully closing because I can see my starter solenoid engage, but not fully engage. And so I have to manually start it. It's just going to be a relay. I know it's a simple $20 fix, but I just got to figure out which one. I might just replace all 6, and then I don't have to guess. Josh says, "I'm from Germany. How you doing? Welcome to Northern Canada here." And A says, he's married. How many wives do you have? Just one. Just one. The apocalypse hasn't hit yet, so just one. And Logan says, "Can you please sing happy birthday?" Logan, is it your birthday? Who am I singing happy birthday to? The Warrior says, "Maybe later tonight we can work it." Now, Warrior. Be nice. Uh, what's up, hon? Sure, I can strain the milk. What do you mean by double strainer mabobber thing? This fine mesh strainer that's right here? You said I got a jar in the fridge? I'm just gonna strain one sec, guys. I'm gonna strain some goat's milk. My wife just finished milking the goat, and so now I need to strain it just to make sure that there is no uh, contaminants, no hair or anything in it. Might have too much for this jar. We'll see. So this is fresh goat's milk over here. This is it's about a quart and a half, a liter and a half container. It's about half full for her evening milk. So I got a fine mesh strainer. Just in case this fine mesh strainer is just in case there's any hair or anything that might have fallen in while milking the goat. I'm just gonna pour that in there, and that jar is full. Gonna have to find another one. We use goat's milk for drinking. We use it in our cereal. You could drink it in your coffee. Um, the goat's milk. We make cheese. We haven't made yogurt yet, but we're thinking about it. The cheese is good. And Aloha is saying, "What is going on here? We're doing dishes right now. We are just straining the goat's milk. My wife just milked one of our goats, Mimi, and so yeah, some fresh goat's milk. I gotta find another container here because that one is full. That one's mostly full. I don't normally go straight into the jar, but I think I might this time. Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Oh, we might just pour ourselves a glass. Let's just do that. We're just gonna pour ourselves a glass of milk. We'll still go through the strainer, but we're just gonna have some fresh milk because I don't feel like making another mason jar. Nice and warm. Doesn't get any fresher than that. Okay, there you go. Cheers. That's some fresh goat's milk. Oh, still warm off the udder. I'm so used to drinking milk cold in the fridge like everybody else. And so drinking it warm is wild. MB Austin says, "Where's the kids?" The kids are sleeping. It's past their bedtime. It's 9:33 here right now. Rippin' Lip says, "Bros." And Logan says, "What's up, bro? What do you want?" Uh, yeah. So Ellie Good says, "It's my birthday too." I'm gonna go on faith and say it actually is your guys' birthday. Happy birthday, everyone. Ellie, I hope you had a good day. Is it, where are you? Are you in the United States, Canada? Is it the evening for you or is it the morning? Bullseye says, "You look like Napoleon Dynamite." I look nothing like Napoleon Dynamite. And Ferrari says, "I wouldn't drink that for $100. Do you drink cow's milk?" Ellie, happy birthday. I hope you had a good day. Yeah, that's how you get big and strong. Hi, Logan. So yeah, anyway, that was some fresh goat's milk. We'll wash the container right away. It's good. This goat is a Nigerian dwarf Nubian goat, also known as a mini Nubian, and they have a very creamy milk. It's like 5 to 7% cream, so it's kind of like drinking coffee creamer. Um, really good. That milk, I generally would like to use it for cheese or for butter, but it's good on its own as well. It's really tasty. Just high fat content, so gotta be careful how much you drink. Uh, do you have the urge to meow? No, no, but after you said that, I kind of do. And Ferrari says no milk. I threw it out. Well, goat's milk is good. It's good for you. Tastes good. Nothing wrong with that. And dot. Oh, sorry guys. I didn't realize I had to scroll down. Sometimes it gets hung up. Stefan says goat meat tastes pretty good. Yeah, goat meat is it's better fresh. I find when you reheat it, it's a little bit greasy, but it's good. And why don't you water down the goat's milk? I suppose I could, but right now I have almost more than I can consume, and you don't want to water it down if you're going to make cheese. So anything that I don't drink within a couple days, I just turn into goat cheese. Goat's cheese is a soft cheese. It's good on crackers, bread, dipping your veggies in. I've even put it on pasta. And bonjour à toi. Hello to you too, David. How you doing? Samuel is saying, like and subscribe, brother. Respect from London, England. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Julio Martinez is saying hi. Stefan says, lamb is so much more greasier than any meat I've ever eaten. I know the Portuguese really, really like goat's meat. Elijah says, never say again. I got you, bro. Juan says, it's definitely delicious. Cool kid says hi. I want to be one of the cool kids. The cool kids. And Universe says India. The chat is flying here right now. One second. Michelle says, do you purchase any milk butter cheese at the store? Any milk butter cheese at the store? No, I do not. I don't even know what milk butter cheese is. Tommy is saying, where are you from? I am from Philadelphia. I'm in northern Canada. We're in the far north in Canada. Big boss. It's later season Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is that what I look like? I'll have to look into that. Team a cool kid, join now. And Evelyn says, hello, cool kid. What are you doing here? And Vic Martin says, hello from the Philippines. Hello, friend. Universe says, I am from Vancouver. John is saying, do, 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 do. Well, they're taking testosterone, though. So I'd hope they'd grow a better beard. This is El Natural. And I am of Italian descent. I'm in Canada, born and raised, but Italian heritage. So we're not necessarily known for growing thick, luxurious beards. Uh, Evelyn says, bro, not being weird, but I love your voice. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Ken says, Cole Robinson, the best Canadian. I don't know who that is. Dylan is saying, holla or hola. How you doing? Cool kid says, where do you live? I'm in the far north in Canada. Way up north, think close to Hudson's Bay. I live off grid. I actually have 156 acres here. It's Homestead, my peninsula. I'll show you out the window at my goats. My goats are sitting out here. You're on 40s? What's that mean? My goats are hanging out there. There's my goats. Don't mind the yard. I'm currently fixing it up. If you can see all the freshly laid soil, I gotta lay some soil over there, plant some grass seed. Cool kid says, I'm in Canada too. Right on. Trim your chops. I don't want to trim it. Let it grow wild. It's my vibe. Ken asks, do you eat goat? I do. Not often. All of my goats out there are basically females for milk. Um, I have one that is named Meat who was destined for the butcher, but I ended up finding him a home. My main goal with all my animals, so the females are where the real value is at when you're homesteading. Female chickens and ducks lay eggs. Female goats provide milk. And then things like the rabbits, well, they produce more babies. But you don't need that many boys. Boy animals generally are destined for food or companion animals. And so I have one boy out there that was named Meat because I was planning to eat him. But what I always try to do before I eat an animal is sell him or rehouse him. And so thankfully, before Meat was destined for the butcher, I did find someone who's going to take him. And so I castrated him. He's going to be a companion animal for them. They don't want him with his nuts intact. And so I'm just waiting. I use the rubber band method. So I'm just waiting for everything to heal up nice. so that I know he's good to go, and then I will be rehoming him rather than eating him. And then, yeah, my cow right now is out on another farm being bred. So when you want to breed your cow without owning your own, you have two options: artificial insemination or whore her out. And so she is out at another farm. Um, you kind of got to keep her there for about a month to make sure it's going to take. And then we'll get her back. And next year we'll have a baby cow. And the Manuela. This is the Lord's day. Let's not talk about work offs. Michelle says, "You castrated him?" I did. I did. You don't want to have too many goats with their balls intact. They're frisky animals, so you want to nip that in the butt. If you're going to eat them, apparently castrating them makes the flavor better. And if you want it just as a companion animal, they're easier to handle, easier to manage, castrated. Joshua says, "Only Jesus saves." Nelson says, "Hello." 1 second, I'm about to sneeze. Ah! Sneezing almost kills me every time. I have a bad back, and so sneezing. The sneeze, you think it comes from your chest? It comes from the lower back. I'm telling you guys. Do 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 do. And should you join Team Cool Kid? What is Team Cool Kid? Elaborate. Manuela says, "Oh boy, Manuela. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. You've been to too many Diddy parties." And Kenwood says, "Just one baby cow." Um, right now, I only have one cow, although I'm getting a few more in the fall. We've had others. Um, they haven't all worked out. Some of them have turned into food. Yes, hon. Yeah, 1 sec. We feed our dog a raw meat diet, and so I have whole meat in the freeze. Oh, the frit. Not these. Is it the hot dogs? Yeah, just one pack. Ugh. 2 packs of hot dogs. Not the healthiest whole meat for her tonight, but that'll do. I gotta wash that. Okay, here you go. My dog's eating hot dogs for dinner. And Freshly Wild says, "Butchering a whole Angus sounds insane." I was gonna do it myself, but the problem is when I decide to put my Angus cow down, um, the temperature was fluctuating a lot, and it was at the start of spring. We were having some plus 15 days coming. Like the nights were getting down to minus 10, and the days were getting up to plus 15. And the problem is, you don't want really cold days. I'd argue really cold days are almost as bad as really warm days, because you don't want to freeze the meat while it's hanging. If you freeze the meat while it's hanging, it's no longer aging. Then you don't want the warm days because you don't want the meat to spoil. So without having a proper hanging room, it's kind of just too hard to do my own cows. So I, excuse me, hon. Yep. So anyway, I don't want to do my own cows yet. Down the road, I would like to build myself my own hanging room so I can butcher all my animals myself, including the cows. But for now, we just do everything else ourselves. Peter, how you doing? Wasn't expecting you on a Sunday. Yeah, it's we're having evening churches this summer, and so it's pretty late by the time we get home and get the kids to bed. So normally I don't, but I had an army of dishes here, and I thought, you know what? Why not chat with you guys while we're doing the dishes and just talk about homesteading, talk about off grid, and the one thing I notice when we're out with the animals, we get a lot more wholesome people. You're asking, is my clock off? No, it's almost 10 p.m. It's late. Um, we get a lot of wholesome people when we're out with the animals. But when I'm just hanging out at my office or doing something like this, there's a lot of trolls out there. For whatever reason, we draw in a different crowd when we're just hanging out. Thank you. So my wife thinks that the family has parasites. I don't know. Can you guys hear her? Because I have my headphones in, so I don't know if they can even hear you. Let me know if you guys can hear my wife.
Absolutely.
Just wait until they answer if they can hear you.
No.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. I'll take the headphones out. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible.
I explained this before. You don't do it justice.
Ugh. Wait.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay, so first of all, to the person who said that, yes, Christ is king. Amazing, awesome. Okay. Before he goes off, I don't think anyways. Research shows that, and more from a natural path perspective, people say that 90% of the population is walking around with intestinal dwellers. So they also say that if you live on a farm or have pets, you should do a parasite cleanse twice a year. So this is our first time doing it. What are you talking about? Right now, kind of a weird topic. But
that was terrible.
Hello, white lady. I am very white.
She's whiter than me.
And I don't tan. Anyway, so I have the entire family doing a parasite cleanse right now. It's our first time doing it. They all think it tastes disgusting, which is, I'm so distracted by watching little things go up while you're doing this. Anyways, yeah, I don't think it tastes bad. Everyone else does not like it. The guy is cooler. You know what, Ken? I agree. He's way cooler and he's better at this.
Ouch.
Anyways, what was I gonna say? See, that's why I shouldn't be talking according to this person.
You gotta avoid the trolls.
No, it's cool. It's fine though. Wow, you guys are saying so much. You're an awesome mom. Oh, thanks, Ken. Oh my word, that was a lot of falling that just happened. Anyways, they all think it's disgusting. I really don't mind it at all. So I'm already seeing some interesting results. So we'll see how we do. That's what that was. That was a really long rant to say that's what he's drinking, and now I'm putting my face in to get water, and I'm having some too. I really don't think it tastes that bad.
It's pretty rough. And Rajat Sharma says, hello from India. What do you eat for breakfast? Today we had some farm fresh eggs. Maybe. They might have been store-bought today.
Our ducks died, and our chickens are not laying yet, and our new ducklings are not laying yet. So these ones were store-bought. Can I just borrow this?
What happened? Did the cow die? So our female cow, she's just off on another farm being bred right now. But my bull cow started getting really aggressive, and I just wasn't prepared to handle him at this point. So what happened was, I have a bad back. I had a bad hockey injury a long time ago, and long story short, my back threw out for about 6 weeks, and during that time, still had to go interact with the animals, do all the chores, and just hang out with them. And my bull cow started getting really aggressive, and he realized he could throw me around. And once he realized that I was more fun getting thrown around than, being the boss, things started to escalate. And so I ate him. He needed to be freezer food. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. How long have you guys been together? We just had our 9-year anniversary. We have been married for 9 years. Together another 4 on top of that?
Yeah.
4 years. So we've been together for like 13 years. Where we are up here in Northern Canada, Father's Day is today. It is Sunday here right now. How many babies will the cow have? The cow will have 1 baby per year.
Maybe 2 if we're lucky.
Can they have 2?
Yes, absolutely.
So there you go. 1 or 2. Christian, how you doing, Christian? Welcome back. And cow has 245 babies. That is a busy cow. The gestation period on a cow is a lot like a human. They got a 9.5 month gestation period. So it's pretty hard to do more than 1 a year. Where are y'all located, says Taz the Bulldog. We are in Northern Canada. I also find I sit here drying dishes and washing them much more thorough when I'm chatting with you guys, because I don't trade dishes. I just keep picking up the same one. And sorry, Matt says, do you live on a homestead? Yes. I have 156 acres. It's a peninsula. I got water all the way around. Today we actually spent the day out on the beach. The south side of my property is a beach. And yeah. And Gary is saying, is Oreo still hanging in there? Oreo's doing great. They're all doing great. We actually just got 2 more goats. They are full-size goats. So instead of being these miniature goats here, they are Alpine Toggenburg mixes. And so they're milk. They're milk goats. They're designed for large yields of meat.
When in doubt,
milk.
I thought you were done. Sorry. When in doubt, add more goats. Cal, stop bugging you.
We're sitting at 10 goats right now. However, we are relocating one of them. So we're going to be at 9 goats. One of them, Meat, who was destined for the freezer, we found a new home for him. So I'm not going to eat him. Instead, he's going to go get a name and a new house somewhere else. I would like to think the new owners aren't going to continue to call him Meat. Taz the Bulldog says, we have 7 chickens. Nice. I've got 29. I got 29 chickens right now. Relocate. Yeah, like we're going to rehome him, not to the freezer. Paul says, so glad I caught your stream on Sunday. Thank you, Paul. We don't normally stream this late on a Sunday, but you know, I figured we had lots of dishes to do, and why not chat with you guys? Okay. And the one and only back at there calling me his favorite transgender YouTuber. This is not the first time you've said that, but I'm going to let you keep saying it every time you stick around, because every time you comment, that's another comment and another view. Thank you. Alpacas? No alpacas. Eric, how you doing, Eric? Welcome back. Sorry, what'd you say there? Freshly Wild, what are your thoughts on the American Pope?
The American what?
Our priest today was talking highly of him, so
the Pope.
We will see what happens. And DS Jesus back at the chat saying, I rehomed my slaves. Well, good for you. I'm glad that you were able to find them a new home.
Justin,
Peter,
supposed to be dealing with the trolls.
Yeah, sometimes I do. When they're repeat trolls like DS Jesus, we've seen him come around lots. And Peter says, do you want more kids?
Yes.
No. What?
Justin, don't be rude.
Do you guys have any vegan friends?
Yes.
Who are our vegan friends?
I have an ex-vegan friend.
Oh, yeah, we did have vegan friends. We did,
and it's... Sorry, let me answer this one.
I gotta keep the chat scrolling.
Okay. We did have vegan friends. We just moved away. We stayed in contact for a couple of years, but we just kind of lost contact with them. Ooh, we also thank you, Gary the Snail. Those are very sweet words. Love being out here.
And Mr. Generic, what do you... sorry, I missed the first part. Tim Horton? Yeah, Tim Horton was a hockey player. In fact, Tim Hortons, though, I think they sold. They're no longer Canadian. I think it's owned by... Oh, yeah, I think it's like an East Indian company now.
They're the one Canadian thing that exists.
No, not anymore.
Disappointing. I haven't eaten supper yet. I think I should eat something.
You should definitely eat some supper. Eric says, I missed you last Sunday. I don't know if I streamed last Sunday or not.
Just take a moment and talk.
What are you doing, man?
I need your cloth.
You make doing dishes so much harder.
I'm going to leave you. I'm just wiping the table down. You're welcome.
Why take the only cloth I'm using?
So you could talk.
I'm trying to do the dishes. And Netra says, you guys are a beautiful couple. I'm bickering because I keep getting my dishcloth taken from me.
You keep? It's the first time I've taken it.
I know,
I'm
but...
wiping the table down. Do you like wiping the table down?
Do you have family nearby? No, we do not. Our family's like 5 hours away, so it's just us and the kids and the animals out here. And Taz the Bulldog says, what type of cows do you have? Black Angus.
Although...
we're getting a couple shorthorns, and ours is currently being bred with a...
Speckled Park.
Speckled Park.
No, Speckle Park.
Speckle Park. Okay. So hopefully we end up with a Angus Speckle Park mix.
Which would still be just a Speckle Park.
And Mr. Generic says, get some Highland cows. We did have one Highland cow, but it was crazy. It kept jumping out of the fences and running to live in the forest by itself. Very hard to manage that when your cow does not want to be with the cows. Peter says, you guys are awesome. Monday, going to the hospital for my hand. It's been messed up for several months. I could use the prayers for that. Well, we will pray for you, Peter. What are you're having, like surgery on a tendon or something that's let go? Or what happened to your hand? Did you crush it? Did you hurt it? Taz says, nice. Mr. Generic says, oh yeah, they're nuts. And Funny and Insightful says, what made you choose the wildlife? Less clutter?
Can I say one thing on that?
Yep.
The funny thing that you said, less clutter, because when we moved out here, I tried to force him to become a minimalist. So that's funny.
That's true. Yeah, we did have a really big house, so we had a lot of stuff. And Eric says, "Is your clock right?" Yes, it is super late. It is very late. Um, but no, what made us live out here? In my mind, it was a lot of it had to do with COVID. We had a different plan before COVID. We had a really nice house on the lake in a town, and we were actually contemplating buying out like the neighbor's property. We'd approached them and gave them an offer and kind of said like, hey, if you're ever willing to sell, like come to us first. And we were planning to buy up a whole strip along a lake in town, but it was still in city limits. Our thoughts at the time were we have young kids. Maybe living in town is a good idea because you got access to all the resources. Then when COVID hit, they shut everything down in our area. So the schools were shut down,
Playgrounds.
the playgrounds, the parks, the libraries, the pool, every facility was shut down.
For a long time.
It is 9:55 here.
What?
Nine
Oh, yeah,
9:55. 9:55. And so when they shut everything down, and then on top of that, just the uptick in people using drugs during the COVID time, and just even in our nice neighborhood, people wandering around not in their right mind, it started making us think about getting out of town. And then with COVID, there was a surge in housing prices, and where we were, our house was worth a lot of money, and it had gone up substantially. And so at that point, the stars were kind of aligning, and we decided to sell the house while it was worth a lot, get out of town. We bought 156 acres out here on the lake. It was a 3-season cabin, so I've had to put a ton of work into the house to get it into a livable state. It is off grid, but now that the work has been mostly done, it's very enjoyable. Obviously, we're always still doing stuff. In the fall, I had to rip out all my water lines. I'm going to put the headphones back in just so you guys don't have to listen to
Good idea.
the clutter of the dishes. Give me 1 second. Not that I'm trying to ignore you, hon. It's just the noise
Sorry,
of
you're
water.
already ignoring me.
Kinda.
I get to read.
Okay. Sorry, guys. It's just when I without the headphones in, the background noise from just watching dishes is awful. I'm sure. So I figure put the headphones in just so that I can rinse the dishes. Um, is it at least a 4-season cabin now? Yeah. So we gutted her down to the studs. We insulated it. We added a wood stove to heat it. I had to rip out all the water lines outside because they weren't dug deep enough. Replace the well pump, um, and basically rebuilt everything from the ground up. So that's why yard is kind of a disaster. I've been working on leveling it out now with topsoil. Like I leveled it out with gravel and clay, and then put some topsoil down. So I got to plant some grass seed there this week. But it was yeah, it's been a project, that's for sure. But we're back up to 4 season. Freshly Wild says, I want to intern for you, Justin. If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy. Um, right now, I still work my full time job Monday to Friday. And so, because I'm doing that, it's kind of hard. You would basically just be hanging out with my wife, which is not kosher uh, because I'd be at work. Um, Freshly, you just stick around the channel and we'll continue to learn how to survive together. We're always learning new skills, new things, and I like to make videos and share them with you guys. And Adam is asking if I'm acoustic. I'm going to assume you mean a different word, and the answer is no. Peter says, my fingers are messed up. Seeing the ortho doctor to see if I might need surgery on my left hand. Uh, was it an injury or something that happened, or it's just over time? I think Adam, I'm not sure I understand. I'm gonna ignore it. Freshly Wild says, sorry, Peter. And Eric says, 10:59. We're an hour ahead of you. It is a late night, Eric. You're staying up late tonight. Do you have to work in the morning or do you not have to go to work tomorrow? Usually we try to be in bed by 10:30, 11 at the latest. My wife says I'd like to be in bed by 8, but it's not gonna happen. So usually the kids are in bed by like 7:30, and then the oldest is usually sleeping by 8:30. So really it's hard to get much started before then. And Adam says, "I can't stand the guilt." Um, Adam, I'm gonna put you in timeout. You're gonna get a 5-minute timeout. Settle down. I need you to calm down, friend. And Peter says, especially wild, thanks, prayers needed. And David says, watching from Kenya. I'm sure, Peter, everything will go smooth. Rohan. Hello, Rohan. How you doing? Nice name. And Just a Dude says mosquitoes finally came out in force where I live. They've been bad here for a while. They'll pick you up and carry you away. And Lion, Atomos. I'm just going to call you Atomos. It's easier to say. Welcome back to the chat. It's nighttime in your area. Yes, it is 10 p.m. here. Sun is just setting right now. Mr. Generic says, you sit there and think about your actions, Adam. Yes, it's a timeout. Peter's asking, how many more kids do you want to have? So the answer to that, I'm going to say, is that uh, I have, as much as I castrate the goats, I have not castrated myself. And since I am not castrated, um, I kind of, I'm going to leave it in God's hands. I'm not going to try to have more. My wife's looking at me like, we need to try to have more. So what my wife doesn't understand is on two of our kids, she almost died. She hemorrhaged really bad on the birth of kids 3 and 4, like, really bad, and she had blood clots and, like, micro strokes and a bunch of, like, terrible symptoms, and so it was really scary after the last one, um, the second last one, and so during our last pregnancy, she was on a ton of different, basically, I don't know, consultations with various different doctors and specialists and under medication to make sure that we'd have a better birth experience. And this time things went well. So we went from not wanting to do it again to having another one. And now she wants more. And I'm still like a little bit gun shy from the other two. So anyway, now you guys have to understand, as a man, I'm not very persuasive in this line of conversation. So as much as I say I'm not ready to have more, if she's saying she's ready to have more, at some point it'll probably happen. I have not joined the Buddhist monks yet. I do not know how to say no. Not well. So anyway, that's why we're at 5 kids. Um, we do have a lot of friends with really big families, a lot of friends with 6 kids, 7 kids. Um, it's kind of a thing up here in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, yeah. What's interesting is it's all perspective. When we had our first baby, life was crazy. We had just gotten married, got pregnant right away, um, had our first kid. You had to learn how to change everything you're doing. Your whole way of life changes. You kind of stress yourself out trying to learn how to best take care of the kid, doing all the research, all the homework. But then once you have the second kid, you've already done all that leg work. By the time you had the third kid, the first kid's old enough that he's not trying to kill himself all the time by jumping off of crazy ledges and so on and so on. It keeps getting easier the more you have. So it's not exactly crazy to have more. Um, I would say one is the hardest in the sense of it's just a change in pace. But now it's like the baby's the easiest. Peter saying 2 more kids, then stop. And Goaded says, bro looks like Minnesota final boss. I mean, I am in northern Canada, so it's not that far off. Especially Wild says take glucosamine and omega 3s. Elmer Moto TV says hi. How you doing, Elmer? I see you have a TV in your name. Does that mean you make videos yourself? Enlighten us. And Peter says freshly wild. Thanks. I know, right? And what? Where are they coming in through the corner, or are they just conglomerated there? Okay. Today I've had a ton of flies in the house, and so we're trying to figure out where all the flies are coming from. We've been on a murder spree of flies. Do 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 do. Sticky says, "Hello, remember me? I have 9 siblings." Lily, I did not know you had 9 siblings. That's wild. What? My wife is trying to vacuum the flies up. And Adamo says, "It's like you got some new job, but after you can manage your job, next job is more easy and still manageable." Yes, yes. My vacation says, "Dad, Dad, happy Father's Day." Rohan says, "Saskatchewan, northern, far north, central Canada." And Adam says, "Sorry, Daddy." Welcome back, Adam. Did you learn from your time out? My vacation says, "Pay child support." If I had to worry, I would worry, but I don't have to worry because I am in a healthy, beautiful relationship with my wife. Funny and insightful says, just repeating because you may have missed it. Yes, sorry. Is it economically pressuring to have more number of kids? Um, as they get older, they do end up wearing into the budget for food mostly. That's really the hard thing. What's that? But we're homesteading, and so that mitigates it. We don't have to buy any meat. But we live in the far north in Canada, and groceries are expensive. We've been spending like $500 a week almost. It's disgusting, and that's not counting any meat. So we're trying to figure out what kind of food we need to cut back on. Adam says, "Do you smoke weed?" No, I don't smoke. I don't drink. My wife's telling me I need to ignore you, but Adam, I'm here to respond to you. You stuck around after your time out, so I'll talk to you. No, I don't drink. I don't smoke. Don't do anything. Um, I mean, I used to drink back in the college days, but my thing was once I had my first child, I didn't want to drink when I was home, and so I'd only drink when I went away out of town. And really, it was during COVID when everything shut down and I stopped going out of town. I stopped going on work trips, um, no vacations or anything like that. And so that was 2019. November 2019 was the last trip I went on. And by the time things reopened, it was like it had already been 3, 4 years. I hadn't had a single drink. And so I figured, why start now? So, um, yeah, I just decided now I don't drink. Um, I'm going to ignore everyone else there. Funny and insightful says 500 a week is too much unless you make enough. That's one of the many reasons of restricting the number of kids. Yeah, I mean, we are trying to, we do our own goat's milk, so we haven't had to buy cow's milk in a long while. We've got ducks and chickens. My wife is blaming the government for making groceries expensive. We do live in the far north in Canada, in the middle of nowhere, so groceries are going to be a little more expensive here. Just having to ship them in. And Adam says, "You're a good man. Your kids are in good hands." Thank you, Adam. Uh, you've turned around. And Peter says, "Clean living best for everyone." And my vacation says, "Good, cool dad." Peter says, "Have you guys seen the Blind Side movie, the Phil Robertson story?" My wife is saying yes. I have not. My wife is saying she loves it. Ugh. And Vision is saying my beard is a Taliban beard. It is nowhere near long enough. It's nowhere near long enough. I wish. I wish. Them boys know how to grow beautiful beards. Um, And Jesus is our savior says, "Hi, hello, how you doing?" Adamos says, "Yeah, the government pushed us to be farmer because the main job is not enough." Basically. I mean, we do it for the enjoyment of it, but it definitely helps. Um, I got 4 pigs raised in the forest right now. Um, cost me $1,000 in feed to feed them. That'll get them to weight. Um, but other than that, I mean, I'm gonna have what 1,200 pounds of pork. After you butcher it, 800 pounds of pork. I think it's a good price. My vacation says, "Do you play video games?" My game of choice is actually a phone game. Uh, I do like playing some Hearthstone when I have some downtime. It's a card game, mobile card game. Vision says, "Nice guy, God bless, good luck." Thank you. And Jesus Freak says, "Look at this freak." My wife says, "Jesus Freak, we love your name." From the song, I assume. Do. Bear with me. I gotta see where I'm missing. Uh, Gilhern Tesser says, "What's the breed? The breed of pigs? Yorkshires." I got Yorkshires breeding right now. Sorry, not breeding. Being raised. Being raised for food. Um, Unknown says, "Should I give up on women and become an incel?" Um, it is your choice. It is your whatever brings you happiness. If you find the right woman, she will bring you much happiness. Joan says, "My birthday is tomorrow." Happy birthday, Joan. Vision says, "Taxes are crazy." Sorry, guys. Taxes are crazy out here in Quebec. I made a little over 62K this year, and I'm paying the CRA 2,500 and Revenue Canada 2,600. Ridiculous. I assume that's on top of the taxes you already had pulled off of your wages. European says it's Pride Month. I know. I'm gonna ignore that. Jesus says I'm the freak. And Peter says, "Have you ever thought of going beardless?" I think that I would look way too young. I have been growing some form of a beard since we had our first kid. It started as a bit of a chin strap and a little mustache, but I've been growing something out for like 9 years, and so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm attached. I'm kind of attached to it. Uh, Adamo says $500 in my village can live so lavish because it's cheap resource. My village is mostly farmer. Adamos, where are you from? And Jesus Freak says, "God bless you and your pigs." Lofty DVD says, "What's going on, gang? Sorry, guys. This cough in my throat, I cannot get over it." Um, and Mr. Generic says, "There is some high level trolling going on here." Yes, sir. It tends to happen when you're having a more chill live stream. When you're out with the pigs and doing stuff, people tend not to troll as much because they're too distracted. They want to see what's going on. But when you're just sitting here doing dishes, people got time to troll. Uh, do. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Klein. Hello. And Jeff says, "Don't shave the beard." Just a dude says, "Taxation is theft." Adamo says, "Our family just needs about $250 a month for daily necessities in my bill." That's awesome. Klein says, "Hello. Hi, Klein." Vision says, "Do you pay less tax if you have a wife and kids? What is the difference? Any idea?" No, I don't pay less. I I actually pay I pay a lot because I'm a single income, so it's all taxed off of my income. Um, I do get some back for the kids because they're considered dependents, and we do get up here in Canada like a monthly child benefit. So we do get some money for having the kids. I'm not going to say how much we get because let's just say it's not that much. What happens is in Canada, the amount you get for having kids depends on your income. And if you make a good amount of money, you get less. There are some people who will milk this system and try to stay on welfare, and the government will pay them, and it's tax free, the child benefit. Uh, More money, they get more per kid per month. And so some people will have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 kids, work minimum wage, and collect a lot. But if you have a well paying job, you don't get that much. It's probably enough to cover the food. My wife says it covers diapers. It covers more than diapers. Like, for all the kids combined. My wife is saying when you have a baby, it covers enough. Sorry, they can't hear you, so I don't wanna she's saying it's enough to cover diapers, per month. European says 5K on taxes on 62K is not that bad. I'm assuming that's on top of extra, on top of what already came out. Peter says, "Are you trying to get the Duck Dynasty hair look?" What, with the beard? By letting it grow? I trim it back all the time. I'm gonna scroll past some of this stuff to catch up to real time. Sorry, guys. If I missed anything you guys were saying, um, just repeat it. I had to get back to real time. I was getting a little far behind on you guys. Just a dude says, so I have an interesting idea for taxes regarding kids. Let's hear it, man. And Dallas says, you seem smart, sir. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Sahil says, hi. Hello. How you doing? Fred says, I believe her. And Vision Aid Aiden says, can we buy a house around the area you live for 200K? You can. It's definitely possible. It'll be a bit of a beater. It'll be kind of run down and need a lot of work. Um, the economy's crazy everywhere, even up here in the middle of nowhere. I see when I look online at houses up here, you're kind of looking at 250,000 for anything that's at a kind of livable state. Anything less than 250 is going to need some work. And that's going to be in town. That's not going to have land. That's not going to, if you want land, you're going to be paying a pretty penny. Still cheaper than a lot of areas, but still expensive to some regards. Has your wife ever had short hair? Peter asks. Every couple of years, she tries to cut it down to her shoulders. Do 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 do. Birth rates are low in the West and taxes are high. Give birth breaks for citizens having kids. After 5 kids, no more taxes as long as you have a job and are not taking away from the system. That's not a bad idea.
I'm clapping.
They definitely should do something to encourage people to have kids because they're as much as AI might replace a lot of say higher intellect jobs, we're going to need labor jobs for our aging infrastructure. We're going to need plumbers, we're going to need carpenters, we're going to need people doing those jobs. And yeah, with an aging population and a population of people having less kids, it's going to be harder to find those people. Dallas says I'm subscribing. Well, thank you. Um Vision Aiden says, thanks for answering in time. Hope you get monetized and we can help. Well, thank you. We are close. We are over the subscriber threshold and we're at about 2,300 hours of watch time. At 3,000, the first tier monetization comes in and then 4,000, the next tier. But yeah, we're very close. My wife wants to talk to you guys about Ancona ducks. My wife wants to tell you guys about ducks. She's coming back. She's coming back in. 1 second, guys.
To be clear, I told him to tell you about Ancona ducks, and he kind of looked at me like, not gonna happen.
You're the expert.
Oh, well, no, you're gonna, okay, fine, well.
Tell them. Talk. You brought it up. Talk to them about your ducks.
Yes, we do make short videos as well. Check out our channel. It's very exciting. In fact, speaking about ducks.
Talk about your dang ducks.
I'm going to make a video soon about duck care and all that kind of stuff. So we were incubating 41 duck eggs from a friend, Pekin, Ruin, and Khaki Campbell. And our incubator, which was our first time using it, was faulty, so that was very frustrating. None of the duck eggs hatched. So then, since we had to redo it anyway, I have totally fallen in love with this duck breed. It's called an Ancona duck. Google them right now. They're so beautiful, you guys. And they're part of the endangered species list. They are amazing dual-purpose birds.
You're part of endangered species. Does that mean I'm not allowed to butcher them for meat?
No, they're just an endangered farm animal. There's not. Of course, you're allowed to butcher them.
They better not be protected. You're gonna get me in trouble.
They're a dual-purpose bird, so they actually have extremely flavorful meat, more flavorful and less fatty than Pekin meat, which is the #1 type of duck meat.
You stand in front of the camera. If you're talking,
no, you're the camera guy. No, you're the camera guy. And see, and they're better egg layers than most of the other breeds, and their eggs are colorful. They lay blue, cream, and green duck eggs. What else should I say about Ancona duck? Oh, super cool the way they forage. So most duck breeds, when they go out foraging, you tell me if people are bored by this, and I'll stop talking.
No, you talk. I'm not reading the chat.
I know. I'm not reading it. You read it. So when they go out foraging, it's really interesting because most duck breeds, when they go foraging, follow the drake, which is the male duck, but for Ancona ducks, they actually follow the female, and which is phenomenal because females are much better at finding the good insects and snacks, versus males are mostly interested in just mating and wandering around.
Aren't we all?
So I found now finding Ancona ducks. Oh, hold on. In my country, the hatching duck and chicken being colored and sell to some kids in school. But that's it? Seriously? Whoa, wow, it's way more expensive here. Crazy, only 50 cents. Wow. Do you play Duck, Duck, Goose with the kids? You know what? We do. I have played that with them sometimes. That's actually, you know what, okay. So, yes to Duck, Duck, Goose, but we've always actually called it Saint. I think we've gone Saint, Sinner is how we always do it, which I think is kind of funny. I should switch it to Duck, Duck, Goose now that we have ducks.
Duck, Duck, Chicken?
Duck, Duck, Chicken. I like that. Okay, so I wanted to hatch these Ancona ducks, but you can't find Ancona ducks anywhere in this area. They're, like I said, endangered. They're not super common. Oh, the best part about Ancona ducks is they're extremely hardy to really, really cold weather.
Good night, Lily.
They love the cold, so that's really great for our area, which is really why I wanted to get them. I finally found some very, very far away, but still in Canada. And I finally found somebody who is willing to ship me these eggs. So they should be being shipped tomorrow. I'm very excited. I'm going to document the process, so make sure to follow our channel and see when I post that video about incubating these beautiful Ancona duck eggs and growing them from out of egg. Yeah. Funny.
Okay. I'm back. Let's catch up with you guys. Let me put the headphones back in.
What, was I that boring?
No, you're good.
Back.
You're good.
Back. She's done talking now.
You're good, hon. I just got to catch up on the chat now.
I need to eat and then go to sleep desperately. Gotta feed the baby.
If we missed any questions during that explanation of Ancona duck eggs, just repeat your question right now, and I will catch it. One whole chicken being processed is about $1.50. What would you say chicken breasts go for at a grocery store here right now? A whole chicken. At least 10. It's about $12 for a farm chicken here for a whole chicken. And that's if you're buying it off a farmer and not at the grocery store. It's going to be more at a grocery store. Do you think it's cheaper at the grocery store? Yeah, it's more than Minu, hello. How you doing? We're from Northern Canada. We're up here in Northern Canada. And Peter says the boss has spoken. You guys are fun. Good night, Sticky. And the government says, I assume you have a proper duck license to have these. Up here in Northern Canada, homesteading requires no special licensing. If you start selling animals and you can generate more than $7,000 a year in farm revenue, you are able to register as a farm, which gives you some tax breaks and access to some government grants. The tax breaks are a big one because you can even use it for things like all your animal feed. So, yeah, otherwise, no license to have ducks up here. And the government has noted. Mr. Generic says that's expensive and funny, and insightful says, so sorry, my comment gets buried. I was suggesting you that the tax can be minimized by setting up a home-based business and harvesting lost pay from your wife as minimum wage. I do believe that is tax evasion up here. It's not really allowed. People do it, but you can get in trouble for it. I have a buddy who has his wife on the payroll. He's gone through a couple audits and he's never been caught. But that's how tell you on live stream. But yes, people do that. What? Well, the way we did this is because my wife is a part of the YouTube channel here. She's out here chatting with you guys, and she's in on our website and all this fun stuff. Everything's kind of in her name, and so when we go to claim taxes for YouTube, that's all through her. But that's because she's legitimately part of this. She's my manager. She's out in the background telling me what I'm allowed to say and not say, and she's giving me a big "Don't say that" on this. But so on our website, mywildlife.ca, mywildlife.ca, our website, what we're going to do is we're going to put up there a bit of a bio for all of our animals. So I'm going to have pictures my wife took of all of our animals and then all their names, a little bit about them, maybe some of their history, a little bit about the breed, and yeah, just a little bit of a bio for each of the animals so that when you guys want to go there and check in and see what kind of animals we have, what their names are, it'll kind of be a one-stop shop where you can see all the animals. So yeah, yeah, she took some good pictures today, so I'm gonna edit that all up there sometime this week and get that up on the website. Um, Adamo said a whole duck here costs about $7.50. Whole duck up here, no idea, but I would probably say $20. 20, maybe more, 20. I know a whole rabbit up here is 40, but I'd like to think that a whole duck is quite a bit too. Um, Moki is retracting a compliment that I missed, and judging by his follow-up comment, I wish I didn't miss it. Jeff Putty says, I go live daily, streamed for 6 hours yesterday. Jeff, what kind of stuff do you stream? Um, Jeff, I'm going to give you a little challenge here because I'm curious to know what kind of videos. It's hard for me to um, come back into the videos and click on your names to check out your channels. If you go on to any one of my other videos when you're done here and comment on one of my other videos, I'll be able to find you easier and just comment anything on one of my videos so that I can easily find your channel. So I can come check you out and subscribe and see what kind of shenanigans you get into. Oh no says, I took your advice and slept with my man's father on Father's Day. Thanks again. You're welcome. I hope that works out well for you. Happy Father's Day. Still in the family. That's interesting. Ooga Booga says, "You're a dad. If you are, happy Father's Day." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I have 5 sons. My wife and I. And Bank said, "You like fentanyl? You like fentanyl?" No, I'm allowed to read whatever comes up, hon. Uh, Fentanyl is a plague. It's terrible. There's a lot of people dying from fentanyl. It's a terrible injection into our population. Let's just put you in a 10-minute timeout. Goodbye, Bank. Um, Cardi says, W. Adamo says, how much of 1 kilogram of goat meat up there, sir? Um, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't even know what people are buying it for. Whenever we've butchered goats, we've just eaten them ourselves, or shared it with friends, but we've never sold any. Mr. Generic says, I'm the proud daddy to a Jack Russell. He's called Edgar. Edgar Allan Poe. Nice. Um, we have one dog right now. She is a yellow lab golden retriever. Her name is Lily. She's a good girl. She's about, is she 2 years old or a year and a half? Think she's a year and a half. Next year, we're thinking about breeding her with an Anatolian Shepherd and hoping to get a little bit more farm dog out of the babies, something a little bit bigger, a little bit more protecting. Uh, if you have a daughter next, you won't be the same. I know we have 5 sons. That's wild. Every time you roll the dice, you're rolling a 50-50, and we have had 5 boys. We've had a girl's name picked out for 9 years. Since we've had our first son, we had a girl's name picked out as well. Uh, and Goated says, "Bro looks like a medicine commercial side character." That is oddly specific. Uh, Cardi says, "How is your day doing?" Cardi, thank you for asking. My day's going well. I cannot complain. Mr. Generic says, "I'd love a retriever." I hear they shed a lot though. In the spring, summer, fall, she lives outside, so it's not really a big issue. She's probably shedding right now. I noticed she's rolling around in the mud a little more and you know trying to shake off. all the dirt and dust and loose hair. So he's probably shedding right now, but she lives outside. Sif says, "Did you catch the fox?" I have not. I think he did flip over the live trap. It's on its side right now. I gotta go pick it up. I gotta peg it with some tent pegs to the ground. I wedged it between a log and a tree, thinking that it was gonna be fine this time, and it still managed to flip it over. So um, I'm still on the hunt for these foxes, but my dog has been doing a really good job keeping them away. I've got 29 chickens. The fox has not come around. So I think she's doing her job. She tends to go a little bit ballistic around 1 or 2 in the morning. So I think that's when the fox is trying to get close to the property. But my dog is doing her job. Vision says, let's go for the sixth. It'll be a girl. Adamo says it's like $5 per kilogram of goat and $10 per kilogram of beef. See, you're kilogram. So we're talking 2 pounds. Okay, that's closer on the beef price. Everything else you said has been a lot cheaper, but the beef price is a little bit closer. Um, you're looking at about $5 a pound, so $10 a kilogram here for beef. Sad says, may I ask what you think about someone using his wife to gain viewers? Um, Depends. What do you mean? What do you mean? There have been cases of guys who like will pretend that their wife is the one playing video games while they're playing with the other controller. Um, if it works, it works. I mean, I'm not gonna give anyone any shade for it. Um, Just a dude says the forest where my grandparents used to live is on fire right now. Ah, that's no good. At least you said used to live, which I assume means they are no longer there, which I assume means they're safe. Suresh says ram. Peter says, "Just a dude is it on purpose for taxes? Insurance claim." Fresh boy says hi, hello. And the news said lightning. Adamo says, "I have a $200 salary in a month, and the meat about $10 per kilos. Is it worth it, sir?" I mean that sounds expensive, the $10 per kilo, on a $200 salary, because that's kind of the beef prices up here, and it doesn't take much. If one meal is a kilo, that's a $10 meal. If you're cooking it yourself, that doesn't sound terrible, I guess. But $200, not a lot of money. $10, you're only going to get, well, at that math, you can only survive 20 days of the month, so that's not good. And Peter says, just a dude, easy to put out. Let's hope. And Sad says, making her dance. Yeah, I mean, if you're making her dance and she's not volunteering to dance, that is not okay. Harper says, God love you and blessed day. Thank you, Harper. Mikhail says, do you live at your grandparents' house? No, I live off grid. I've got a homestead, 156 acres. And yeah, my grandma has passed away, and my grandpa lives about 6 hours away. If you're saying that as a joke because of my style, I love this. I put this wall up like this. It's functional and looks good. And Mr. Generic says, "How many dishes do you have?" I've washed the same cup 100 times. Uh, there's when you have 5 children, you go through a lot of dishes. It's like it's a never-ending cycle. There are times where I just want to buy paper plates and plastic forks. Um, can I recommendation of cooking receipt, sir? Adamos, what kind of food are you talking? What do you need a receipt of? And Donald says that's a nice wall. Thank you. And DSJ says set some free and they will be feral. Living with the pigs in the forest. Uh, Peter says, does your wife ever think you're MacGyver and can do things with a knife and duct tape? It's a never-ending thing of fixing things. That's for sure. Um, Sometimes I'm not as patient as I should be, and I try to get her to diagnose problems, or at least start thinking that way. But yeah, yeah, we do a lot of repairs. Um, Adamo says, try searching this recipe about safe ayam with peanut sauce. It's easy to make like skewers. What kind of meat is coming off of that? What's ayam? Pre-oiled. And Smokey says, bros a Chad. Mr. Generic says, DSG, this is a trip. I'm keeping him around because it's amusing. Uh, my dog is starting to bark right now. I can hear in the background. So that's probably the fox. What's up? Okay. Last minute, guys, because we are almost done the dishes and my wife wants to go to sleep. Dad says, I wish you all the best in Arab country. We say that the man should be brave until he have his first son. Uh, and you, brother, have five, so may God bless them. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do, 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 do. Sate ayam is basically chicken, but you can use other meat. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Ruby says, hello, hello, how are you? I'm doing well. Thank you. We've got some trolls in the chat, but we're just rolling with it. We're about to end the stream, though. It's been 76 minutes of doing dishes. I probably could have got this done in 30 if I was not washing everything so thoroughly while I talk to you guys, but it is what it is. B Dog says hi, and Peter says, bet you Lily got the fox. She doesn't know how to get the fox. I think she'll play tag with it. They'll run around in the forest a little bit. As long as she keeps them away from the chickens, I don't care what she does. But she's not a very good hunter. Our other dog, our previous dog who passed away, Daisy would have gone out there and killed the foxes for sure. She would come back with like dead rabbits. Like she would go out in the forest and catch rabbits alive. And it's not easy to catch a rabbit. And she would bring them back for me. Daisy was a menace in a good way. She was the protector. Unfortunately, she got sick. She caught a bacterial disease in her lungs and she passed away. Um, but she was a really good protector, really good farm dog. Lily, she's just a sweetheart. I don't, she's got a big bark, but no bite. I've never seen her go after another animal. I've never seen her actually attack anything, which is good. Makes her nice and safe to have around the kids and the other farm animals. But she's not necessarily a good farm dog. But as long as the fox doesn't know that, we're good. Ruby asks, are you married? Yes, my wife is just in the other room. Ah. And Peter says, yes, he's married, five boys, him and his wife live happily. Yes, it is wonderful. But guys, thank you for joining me. This was the last bowl, so we are going to end it. It is time to wish you all a good night, a happy Father's Day. And Peter will be thinking about you and praying for you. I hope your hand surgery goes well if you end up having surgery. Take care. And thanks for sticking around, guys. I appreciate everything. And